Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, something Scribe Light.
I quit.
And someone else, Satsu. And I'm a something monkey. Hi, guys. Shit. Tripped on it. Swing and a miss. They happen sometimes. So we can't bat 1,000.
What do you mean, we, white man?
What do you mean? You've screwed up.
Not like that.
Look, I just embrace my failure. That's the difference.
Yeah,
I am a success at embracing my failure. That's what I bring to the table.
Yeah, you wrap your arms around and give a big old wet kiss. That's true.
It is. How you doing tonight, Scribbles?
It's me? I'm all right. Watching the world burn down around us and everything. I had to do my work stuff in the morning, late in the morning, and then was relatively sedate for the rest of the day. So here I am.
All righty. Seth, so I'll ask you in a second. First, I need to get this donation before I forget it. Thank you, tall person who says, "Here, money. I'm feeling generous, also drunk. So happy not your birthday. I'm happy your mother and father made love at one point. Also, YouTube wouldn't let me post this on Super Chat for some reason. They're lost." Thank you so very much, tall person. That's very kind. And I'm glad my parents had the sex too. Satsu, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. I had a decent day of minimal social media, with the exception of that little short window where I was just posting shit like crazy and then I got off. Pretty good day. Nothing to complain about.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you, angry Illinoisian. Dang, with that failure of an intro, not sure if I want to do this. Oh, no, if I'm failing this hard, you're going to want to stick around. It's just how we do things. I had a painful day, but it was a good one because I got to go hang out. I was sitting here right after I woke up, guys, and I was just getting online and trying to decide if I wanted to deal with the shit over there on Twitter because I'm addicted to the riot. I really am. The riots. Is it one riot now or is it riots?
There are several all over the place.
Monkey, there has been an eruption of several destructive demonstrations.
But is it technically a national one now or is it still individual? Are we still breaking them up by city? I feel like at this point it should be declared a national one.
13 cities.
It's the World Series of destructive demonstrations.
Yay!
But because I really am, I'm addicted to watching all of it. I can't help it. I know it's a failure of me as a person, but I'm sitting here deciding, and the decision was made for me because I'm sitting here and I hear thump, 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 thump. Not on my door, but from upstairs. And then I hear it again and again. And I realize there's a little person in my house. So I took my sad ass upstairs and hung out with Pumpkin all day. And that made the day a lot better. Because she really likes her grandpa. I am her favorite person.
Oh,
it's true. Show opening, right? Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button, guys. Share our stuff. Not mine, because I apparently can't do it very well. Hi, Squeetus.
Squeetus.
Grandpa ears heard that shit. I love the kitties. I can't help it. They're so sweet and cute.
So her Squishy, in that video, if you guys are wondering why her hair was so crazy, Squishy like took my hair pick and picked it all out to try to see how long it's gotten, and that little patch in her head is almost basically covered up.
Good.
Yeah, her hair is growing, but now that we've picked it out, though, we can actually see the textural difference. The top of her head is a completely different texture than the hair on the bottom. Like totally different. It's like she got two separate different like people's hair on her head at once. It is strange.
I fucking love her hair.
It is insane.
It is amazing. Real quick, Pincalo, thank you. Say it. The ape called the Rodney King level riots. These if you're calling me an ape, I'm not. These are past Rodney King, way past. This is bigger than like your regular BLM we had during the Ferguson crap. And tall person, thank you. You're no failure, monkey. I'm addicted to the same stuff. I know it's bad for me, but I can't help it. You know, that's how I feel watching it. Like, I know I probably shouldn't be watching this destruction, and that can't be good for you. But I'm watching it almost like a movie. I keep waiting for the next sequel. Maybe it's just me. Anyhow, besides riots or even riots themselves, Scribbles news today? Do we have some?
Well, let's just talk about the riots first. Because
sure, let's get that shit out of the way.
So according to CNN, as of 24 minutes ago, protests have erupted
Jesus.
in at least 30 U.S. cities over the death of unarmed black man George Floyd at the hands of a police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Protesters say they want to see charges for all 4 police officers involved in the death of Floyd. One former officer who was seen in a video with his knee on Floyd's neck was charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter, but protesters and critics believe the charge isn't harsh enough.
Real quick, Angry Illinoisan, thank you. If I can't mess with you on a game stream, I'm going to do it here. That's fine. I will try to get game streaming. I'm still dealing with my satellite, folks, guys. Sorry about that. Can you read the first line of that again?
Protests have erupted in at least 30 cities over the death of unarmed black man George Floyd at the hands of a police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Bullshit. Does anybody, seriously, anybody out there honest to fuck believe that these people are protesting because of George?
As an excuse, yes. In memory of or in vengeance, and probably not for the most part.
Well, I am of the mind that everybody who has their opinion about the reason that they're protesting out there are probably all correct at the same time, depending on which group you're talking about.
Now, I can see, like, okay, this is a if they said and a pattern of police behavior, that kind of stuff, but just over what we saw with Joe, I don't believe that that's why people are stealing shoes and burning houses and marching on Beverly Hills. Stop it.
Well, those people are doing it because they like chaos and they just want to fuck some shit up.
And that's what I think the majority of the rioters are.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, I'm being very careful to make sure that I distinguish the groups because now that it's happened in my town and I've known some people and talked to some people, I've been talking to a few of my friends and family members who are actually down there or whatever. They're laying out exactly what was going on, and it's happening the same way everywhere else. It starts off peaceful. The police start to show up. They start to show up en masse. By the time the peaceful protest is over and the cops start getting a little rowdy, or getting a little annoyed that people are getting there, then shit starts to go crazy. The peaceful protesters disperse, and then everybody else, like all the rioters, are fucking shit up.
Okay, you're right. I should, because I saw the one from Atlanta yesterday before it turned into that scene at CNN, and it was just the people all sitting there and chanting together. I have no problem with that, and I would believe, yes, they're there for Floyd in that case, for Mr. Floyd in that case. A couple of super chats. Pincalo, thank you. George Floyd, no. George Soros, maybe, perhaps. And Russell Dixon, thank you. Could we please go back into lockdown? Could we please go back into lockdown? I'm guessing. I like social distancing. No one bothered me. I like the quiet. I think we're past lockdowns right now. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Scribbles. I interrupted the fuck out of that story. Please continue.
Well, just as my side note, I think if they would at least say something to the effect of riots broke out during a protest,
sure,
then I would accept that description of what's been going on, because it does seem to be one leads to the other, or one not necessarily instigates but precedes the next. Mm-hmm. But they keep just avoiding any mention of the word riot. Which is just as disingenuous as you can get. Okay, not everybody is a rioter, but what is happening when cars are on fire, windows are being broken, buildings are being burned down, I think at that point, the people who are doing those actions, those are rioters. Everybody else on the outside, sure, those are protesters, and maybe they didn't go there to do that. But let's at least be a little bit more honest than just pretending like everybody's just protesting this thing.
Well,
let me get these real quick. Miss Slim One, thank you. It's happening in LA and stores are closing for their own safety. Yeah, there's some interesting videos from that. Chicago Mike, thank you. CNN, what the fuck is the difference between protests and riots? Because these are not a protest, these are riots. There have been some protests, to be fair, but and over on Streamlabs, Dixon Cider, I'm determined to remind you that Don Lemon rubs his nuts. Hashtag not Shio.
Well, let me get through some of these bullet point headlines real quick, just for the updates on what's going on.
Yeah.
So at least 6 arrests made in Philadelphia protests. Rochester, New York mayor sets a 9 p.m. curfew. Louisville mayor institutes curfew and asks for the National Guard. Protests begin to escalate in Chicago. Protesters gather at governor's mansion in Georgia. That's not a good sign. Minnesota governor says he expects to see a spike in COVID-19 cases following protests.
I've been waiting for that.
Seattle mayor institutes weekend curfew. At least 8 states and D.C. have called on the National Guard. Those states include Minnesota, Georgia, Ohio, Colorado, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Utah, Texas, and the District of Columbia. Trash fires ignited in New York, so I suspect Antifa.
But they didn't erupt?
No, they just ignited.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Several fires have been set. They said they were set. Okay. They just happened.
Nice.
Yeah, Utah, Cleveland. Seattle police calls downtown protests, quote, violent and aggressive, unquote. Not riots, but just violent and aggressive protests. Jeez.
So a riot.
Minnesota governor tells residents, please don't go out of your homes. Multiple officers and journalists injured in protests in Pittsburgh. Protesters take to Interstate 5 in Seattle. More than 24 protest-related arrests made in New York City. Wow. And Atlanta mayor says curfew is to, quote, restore the city, unquote. I don't think curfew is going to restore the city. I think, several months of anyway, that's just some of the latest and greatest. I don't know if anything. Let's see. Here this just popped up. Brother of George Floyd said Trump didn't give him an opportunity to speak during phone call.
Okay.
Speaking to MSNBC's Al Sharpton, George's brother Philonise Floyd, I'm probably mispronouncing that, said his conversation with Trump was so fast, unquote. Quote, he didn't give me an opportunity to even speak. He said it was hard. I was trying to talk to him, but he just kept pushing me off. I don't want to hear what you're talking about. And I just told him I want justice. I said that I couldn't believe that they committed a modern day lynching in broad daylight, unquote. Floyd's brother said he asked Biden to get justice for his brother. Quote, I asked Vice President Biden, I never had to beg a man before, but I asked him, could he please get justice for my brother? I do not want to see him on a shirt like the other guys. Nobody deserved that. Black folk don't deserve that. We're all dying, he said. Okay.
Thank you, the broken baller. Buddy with a toy shop in downtown Dayton. Not looking good. I'm debating on heading down there armed to protect the place. I'm not watching Dayton burn.
I
would recommend against it, but
yeah,
if you go out, be careful. You don't want to end up on the news. I understand your desire to protect, but I mean,
yeah, for better or for ill, please don't end up on the news.
Just be safe. Be safe. How about that?
In regards to the labeling of what's been going on, I was talking to somebody about this today, and no matter which side we're talking about, everybody is trying to paint this picture with a black or white brush. I mean? It's either this way or it's that way, and I'm like, y'all are both right and wrong at the same time. Whatever it is, your perception you're getting on this, it's probably true, but it's not as broad as you're making it seem. It's not just rioting. It's not just protesting. It's not just Antifa. It's not just fucking shady undercover cops. It's all this shit. It's a mix of all this shit happening at once, and a lot of fucking players in this with ulterior motives doing all kinds of shit, and everybody's picking a team, but we need to look at this objectively.
Let's see. Video from 11 minutes ago. NYPD drives into unlawful rioters, and there's a video of a police car pushing into a crowd of people. Okay. Shall I move on to other things?
Yeah, let's get to happier stuff. We're gonna have to revisit some of this at Fucketry anyway. So yeah.
And I'll keep an eye in case other things break. This is obviously this is an ongoing, developing story across the country. So if things pop up, I'll interject if needs be. Now, this one, the headline on the CNN front page is much different than the actual article. But it says, analysis, Trump's efforts to change the subject have never appeared more blatant or off-key.
What?
Wait, what?
That is the linked headline on the front page. Here's the article. A week of distractions from Trump shows a leader in crisis.
Does it now?
On Monday, as the nation marked Memorial Day, President Donald Trump mocked his campaign rival for wearing a face mask. On Wednesday, as the national death toll from coronavirus reached a wretched milestone, Trump and his family flew to Florida in an attempted focus on space travel. By Friday, as smoke was lifting in Minneapolis after a night of racial unrest, he announced the United States would withdraw from the World Health Organization. A day later, after another night of protest, he declared himself safe inside his heavily fortified mansion and insinuated his own supporters would rally outside that evening. You mean the White House? His heavily fortified mansion. Okay. In between, there was a dark suggestion of murder, false conspiracies about voting through the mail, a fight over where to hold his nominating convention, and a dramatic escalation of ill will with the very social media platform that facilitated almost all the other diversions in the first place. Wow. Trump's efforts to change the subject at moments of peril have been a hallmark of his entire career in politics and, when successful, a constant source of frustration for his rivals.
Wait a minute. Are they claiming that because he is still being the president during this whole situation that he's trying to change? So when Obama was president and anything major happened, no matter, like that was world news that he addressed, you mean to tell me that he stopped doing everything else a president was supposed to be doing and focused specifically on that?
Oh, that's an interesting.
Yeah, this is the hottest of takes.
Fuck you.
This is car fire hot take.
So he's
Scribbles.
Stop being president. Cool.
Will you send that to me, Scribbles? That might be fun for Monkey in the Morning. That's a lot of nonsense at once.
I just wow.
Changing the subject.
Wowie. Let's see. But rarely have they appeared more blatant or off-key than now, as a battered nation emerges from a pandemic that has left more than 100,000 dead and as racial unrest brews again. Are we emerging from a pandemic? I thought we were still in the midst.
No, it's over. It is COVID-19 is officially done. Send it.
That is all happening 5 months before Trump faces an election in which polls show him trailing only. Wait, let me try that again. Maybe I misread this. That is all happening 5 months before Trump faces an election. Does that sound like it's the current year kind of thing? It's like, well, 5 months, 6 months, 4 months. What's that got to do with anything? In which polls show him trailing only heightens the sense of a leader in crisis, even as he insists he has a handle on both matters and attempts to proceed as planned with his presidency. Trump, cognizant of his precarious political position, has retrenched.
What?
Unwilling or unable to strike a unifying tone, Okay, Trump lashed out Saturday morning when he criticized the Democratic mayors of Washington and Minneapolis while appearing to summon his own supporters to rally outside the White House. A lot of people are criticizing the Democratic mayors of a couple of these cities now for, as with previous destructive demonstrations, ordering their police to essentially let their cities burn without resistance. But that's just my aside. After announcing he was safe, warning he was protected by, quote, vicious dogs and, quote, ominous weapons, Trump provided a play-by-play of Friday evening's protests, of which he said he'd quote, watched every move. Trump wrote, quote, tonight I understand, is MAGA night at the White House, question mark? I must have missed that one. I don't actually follow Trump on Twitter, so I don't know what the hell he tweets half the time.
I do, but I miss most of what he tweets unless it blows up.
Advisors insist Trump is focused on reviving the country after 3 months of pandemic that have led, along with the six-figure death toll, to record levels of unemployment and entire industry shuttered, which is obviously his fault. Trump has aggressively pushed for states to reopen, even when they don't necessarily meet the parameters set out by his task force, which has seen its meetings sharply curtailed and its health experts' public roles reduced. Well, which is it? Do you want the economy better, or are you complaining that it's Trump's fault that the economy's bad? Okay. At the same time, Trump has sought over the past week to shine the presidential spotlight into dustier corners filled with festering racial grievances and antique conspiracies, all of which have been debunked. Like what? I mean, okay. Honestly, it's been a blur of a week. What are we talking about?
I'm guessing the conspiracy would be Joe Scarborough.
Joe Scarborough. Okay, yeah, the Joe Scarborough thing. Antique conspiracy, festering racial grievances.
That's the part he shined a spotlight into festering racial grievances, all of which have been debunked, or just the conspiracies have all been debunked?
The events that unfolded after the president issued a tweet early Friday laden with racist overtones.
This is the shoot thing.
Oh, the looting and shoot.
Yeah. When the looting starts, the shooting starts thing.
Yeah, laden with racist outrage archaeology on the part of some people.
Hang on one second. Toxic Nightshade, thank you so much for the hippos coming up out of the water and the donation that went with it. And Shoehorno, plenty, thank you. Peaceful protesters just broke into a Whole Foods in downtown LA. LAPD moved in right away to stop it.
Good. This goes on for a long time, and I'm sure Monkey will do a complete review on Monkey in the Morning. So, but if you are curious yourself, I will put the link in the chat here in a second, as soon as I can get this open. And then I'll move on, because we've gone quite a bit over time on this one. So,
but before we do move on, I just got to say, so far from what you've read, that sounds like somebody just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the paper and seeing what makes it sound the worst.
Yeah, more or less. In completely unrelated news, we had a space launch today.
We did.
A successful one.
I saw it. That shit was insane.
NASA and SpaceX launch astronauts from U.S. soil for the first time in a decade. A SpaceX spacecraft carrying two NASA astronauts soared into outer space Saturday, marking the first time humans have traveled into Earth's orbit from U.S. soil in nearly a decade. Liftoff occurred just after 3:20 p.m. Eastern Time from Florida's Kennedy Space Center. Astronauts Robert Behnken, 49, and Douglas Hurley, 53, will spend about 19 hours aboard SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule as it slowly maneuvers its way towards the International Space Station. The spacecraft is expected to dock with the space station around at 10:29 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, May 31st. The United States hasn't launched its own astronauts into space since the Space Shuttle program ended in 2011. Since then, NASA's astronauts have had to travel to Russia and train on the country's Soyuz spacecraft. Those seats have cost NASA as much as $86 million each.
Jesus.
The launch also marked the first time in history that a commercial aerospace company has carried humans into Earth's orbit. SpaceX has been working on the Crew Dragon spacecraft for 15 years. The launch of SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft has moved forward despite the COVID-19 pandemic, which has shuttered both private and government operations across the U.S. NASA says it needed to carry on with the mission in order to keep the International Space Station, a giant orbiting laboratory fully staffed with U.S. astronauts. Okay. So there you go. And now just put us on the moon, guys. Now,
did you guys, Satsu, you said you watched it. Did you get to see it live, Scribbles?
No, I didn't. I was doing a TED Excellence at the time.
I love liftoffs. If I showed you my desk, sometimes people can accidentally see my desktop when I'm doing game streams. Mine is the shuttle taking off. I love space. This was awesome to watch. I woke up like just in time. I woke up at like 10 minutes before liftoff. So I got everything together and sat here and watched it. And you know what really struck me about this? You guys ever seen like the inside of the shuttle and stuff?
Yep.
It's it kind of looks like there was an apocalypse and somebody built a space orbiting thing out of leftover parts. You look at the SpaceX one, this thing looks like sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth lines, nice and clean. Everything got these keyboards and everything looked like they were actually built to be there instead of like, just grab that shit, Marty. It looked really cool. And it's nice that we're taking off from our soil again if we're going to be sending people up there.
Well, that's because the space shuttle was designed by engineers. This thing was designed by nerds.
Well, nerd engineers.
Nerd engineers.
Yeah.
Government engineers and nerd engineers. Last one I want to read here real quick. It's in the business section of CNN for some reason. Maybe they'll explain. But the headline is Analysis. Yes, there is misinformation in Minneapolis. No, it's not all Russia's fault. I wasn't even aware that Russia was a factor in any of this, but I guess I need to be educated now.
Oh, you haven't seen this part yet?
No, I haven't heard. Honestly, I haven't heard Russia as related to the protests up until this point. In coming hours and days, you'll likely hear the claims, quote, outside forces, unquote, perhaps even Russians, are mobilizing online to inflame tensions. They don't need to do much work. And stoke violence, yeah, they really could just take the day off. As protests sweep America following the death of George Floyd, the unarmed black man who died Monday at the hands of Minneapolis police officers. That's certainly possible given how easy it is to get on social media, make an anonymous account or group that looks real and spread misinformation. Why bother? 30 different cities are either being protested and or are on fire at present. What more could you want or possibly do to quote unquote inflame the situation? Whether you're Russia or anybody else. And if you did, it would be lost in the sea of grains of sand that is this situation anyway. Why? Am I missing something?
Well, narrative.
Okay, given how you did it, it's almost certain that there are some people, possibly a lot of them. Oh, good investigation there, journalist guy. Trying something like this somewhere online. Are you fucking kidding me? Who wrote this thing? Donnie O'Sullivan at CNN. So there may be some people somewhere possibly trying something like this, maybe.
Real quick, over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Cryptic. I just found out that if you squint your eyes really hard, you can actually make your nose bleed. I did it earlier today on a train, and a Chinese person came up and punched me in the face.
Wow.
Wow, that was a long road.
It really was.
That was a long road to that punchline.
Well played. While you're talking, I'm showing the footage of the Dragon rocket take, or the Dragon. I don't know what the rocket's called. I know it's the Merlin rocket. The Dragon is the capsule, but that's what you guys are watching. This was it, guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Scribbles.
Well, now I want to watch it too, but I got to read the article. Jeez. Not every bad actor on social media is personally sent there by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Oh, thanks. Gosh, I had thought that was true. I'm glad that you have divested me of that erroneous assumption. Thank you, Donnie. Boy, oh boy, you're just a fountain of brilliance here. Any nation state could do something like what Russia has done. Many of them are. What has Russia done, Donnie? I mean, since we're just talking about possibly, maybe, somewhere, somehow, what has Russia actually done in this situation? Through federal and congressional investigations into the Kremlin's efforts to interfere in the 2016 U.S. presidential election, we learned that Russia backed and is likely still backing. I swear to God, I'm going to have an aneurysm. And is likely still backing an elaborate, years-long covert misinformation campaign. It involved a network of Facebook and Twitter pages designed to look like they were run by real American activists. Boy, and you can, if you don't see that certified fresh American activist on a Facebook page, it's not real. Just saying. And that were used to stoke tensions in American society, because American society really needs a push when it comes to stoking tensions, guys. I don't know if you've noticed over the last 50 years, but we are an absolute country of peace and tranquility every day, except for that one asshole, and then everything tips, and Russia's just the asshole in our modern era.
Have you guys found out that leftist media has something, everything that they do, they have a boogeyman to blame it on? Everything, literally everything they do, they have somebody who's responsible for it. That's not them.
I'm sorry. I got to read this next sentence, because I'm done with the article after this, because this caps off everything. It's in the middle of the article. All right, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
But arguably, Russia's biggest achievement was the paranoia it instilled in American society.
Oh dear.
Donnie, really? Donnie, are you sure, Donnie? About Russian paranoia, about somewhere, somehow, maybe, where, likely, you paranoia? Donnie, look in a mirror. Holy
real quick.
crap.
Angry Illinoisan, thank you. Seeing that is worth some shekels. Here you go. Thank you so much. And over on the Streamlabs Cryptic, thank you again. Did you hear the one about the Chinese Godfather? He makes you an offer you can't understand.
I need to tweet Donnie. I need to ask Donnie, okay, what is Russia somewhere, somehow, some way likely to make me a hot dog? Because that's right up there with his ace reporting.
Yeah. Guys, if you want to see this video, I will actually drop the link into chat so you guys can go watch it yourselves and listen to it, because one of the coolest things is when they said, let's light this candle when it gets ready to take off.
Yep.
I'm like, that is so sweet. Such an American thing. Awesome. So here's the link for that. You said that was all you had on that one there, Scribbles?
Yeah, I don't have any other stories.
That I'm glad you made it to that line, because that is the lack of self-awareness there. Holy shit.
I'm gonna cook up a tweet here just for the hell of it. Anyway, I'm done.
That's that was amazing, actually. All right, guys, with that, we're going to move on to MSS News. If there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to them all, but that's just because, well, the Russians won't let us.
Yeah.
They're bastards. Remember, guys, if your story doesn't get read, it's the Russians' fault.
Definitely the Russians.
Oh, God. This one comes to us from Mike R. This is an archived one from 2017, an old BuzzFeed article. We'll take a quick, we'll go through. It's just 11 things. We'll read the headlines. Don't be an activist in the streets and a sexist in the sheets. I'll leave that to your imagination. Number 2, listen. Number 3, shut up. Number 4, face your buddies. Number 5, use your privilege for the right cause. 5, stop judging women. 7, whenever a woman expresses an opinion that makes you feel uncomfortable, try to understand why it makes you feel that way instead of getting defensive or belittling her. Number 8, don't undervalue women's problems or say they're exaggerating. Number 9, care for your masculinity and the issues caused by the toxic societal model of masculinity. 10, yield your space and understand that you're not the center of the universe. And number 11, remember your feminist friend isn't Google. So there you go, guys. That's how you can help. Hi, baby. Come here. Come here. Come see Grandpa. Can you say monkey? Say monkey. You say monkey?
Say monkey.
I've heard you say it. She says it very clearly, you guys. It's really cute. I love you. Can I have kisses? Mwah. Can I have hugs? Oh,
Can you say papa?
say papa. She ain't talking right now. She gets very shy when she gets in front of the camera or the microphone. You say hi? No? She's just sitting here just staring. Okay.
All right, come on, baby.
You can go see Mama. I love you. Mwah. You be a good girl. All right. There it went.
Papa.
There
That's
it
your
went.
papa. Can you say monkey? Monkey.
Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
That's my girl. Mwah.
Can you say monkey?
Monkey.
Say monkey.
Yeah, she's not saying it again. Bye, baby.
Bye, baby. Love you.
Love you too. You guys drive safe. Yeah, she says it really good. She was watching a Winnie the Pooh today. What is it? Piglet's Big Adventure. And Piglet is running around with a squirrel. And she sees the squirrel. She yells, monkey! Like, not really, kiddo. Okay, that's grandbaby time tonight. Let's see what this one comes. Oh, that's oh no. I'm just going to read the headline. It's a Babylon Bee thing. American Celt said, CNN draws largest crowd in years.
That's not nice.
It's not wrong. All right, what do we have next? Isn't that from a while ago? Or is this another? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, this is a new one. Man with shoe fetish stole 126 flip-flops so he could have sex with them.
Huh?
Massive dynamic that this one. Man with shoe fetish stole 126 flip-flops so he could have sex with them. Oh, wow. Theopat Clay, 24, had a fetish for flip-flops and was found with a staggering 126 pair. He pinched from locals in Nathaburi, central Thailand. Officers identified him using footage from CCTV set outside his latest alleged victim's home. When they searched the man's home, they found his sprawling collection of shoes that he claimed he had been collecting for more than 2 years. He said he would wear them around his home as it turned him on. Why not just go buy your own, man? It's probably not as taboo, right?
Flops are very cheap.
Police said his collection included dozens of different brands, sizes, and colors of shoes, all of them worn. The vast array of footwear was laid out in front. You know, there's a picture. I'll throw this in the chat if you guys want to see them. Yeah, there's a ton of them. It kind of looks like a shop meet kind of thing.
Be sentenced to being locked in a room with 12 Puerto Rican moms and a bunch of flip-flops.
Just whip his ass with them. All right, man, you want to steal flip-flops to beat off with them? I wouldn't recommend it. It's probably highly illegal everywhere. Oh, God. This one comes from senior staff correspondent Colleen Bernier, our senior Florida correspondent as well. Louisiana teacher sued for feeding students cupcakes with husband's semen.
Oh, my God.
Oh, was at least powdered first?
And sharing explicitly sexually explicit photos.
Oh.
A former Louisiana sheriff's deputy and his he was a deputy, and his teacher wife are being sued for allegedly serving school. Didn't we read something about this before?
I don't
I don't know.
Thank you, Cryptic, who says, is it floppy seconds? And Evolved Potato, thank you. So the shoe fetish guys, shoe horny? You guys have you guys have problems. This story sounds kind of familiar, but the couple was already facing a number of charges, including child rape, production of child porn, sexual abuse of an animal, among others prior to the new lawsuit. Dennis Perkins and his wife, Cynthia Perkins, 44 and 35, are facing a civil complaint for the fourth time since November 2019, which accuses them of feeding baked goods tainted with the man's semen to the woman's class at Westside Junior High School on two separate occasions in 2018 and 2019. Shrouded Angel, thank you for the sticker that matches the sound Scribe just made. The latest lawsuit also claims Cynthia showed a female student sexually explicit images. As reported by The Advocate, all four civil lawsuits brought against the couple since last fall cite criminal counts of mingling harmful substances. Yeah, that's enough. If those charges are true, I hope they rot in hell. The fuck is wrong with people, man? That's Dom, stop it. He said, lunchtime, come and get it. And for those of you who can't see your screen, use your imagination. Jesus. Why? Okay, let's see. This one comes from Desert Tramp. Dude, load up. There we go. Federal officer killed in shooting at California courthouse.
Oh, no.
The FBI said a contract security officer was killed and another injured in a shooting outside the U.S. courthouse in Oklahoma. Authorities say a vehicle pulled up outside the Ronald V. Dellums federal building at around 9:45 p.m. Friday night. Someone fired at the officers. The officers worked for the Federal Protective Service of the Department of Homeland Security and were protecting the courthouse as part of their regular duties. The shooting happened less than half a mile from Oakland Police Headquarters, where demonstrators gathered to protest the police killing of George Floyd in Minnesota. And that's the end of the story. Damn. How many of those kind of stories do you think we're going to read?
Oh, several the next 24, 48 hours for sure.
No. Shrouded, don't send me those kind of articles. No. Man Home Alone films haunted dolls moving on their own. No. I'll read your other one, but you're bad for that one. Go sit in the corner. I'm going to have nightmares now just from seeing that picture. Let's read the other one, because at least this one looks like it's a positive story. From Shrouded Angel, who just gave me nightmares. A woman gets to keep 500,000-pound boat that washed up on shore near her home. That's pretty cool. A woman is celebrating after getting to keep a boat worth 50,000. I'm sorry, guys, 50,000. Oh, okay. 50,000 pounds, which washed up near her home. That's what, 65, 75,000?
Something like that.
Rhoda Monroe, a shepherdess. Shepherdess? Is that how you say it?
Sure.
It's shepherd with S, so shepherdess. From Yulva, saw the 25-foot boat covered with debris as she sailed to a nearby isle to gather sheep. The 43-year-old male... What? Oh, maid. That's not... I told you guys I shouldn't be doing this. The 43-year-old made a few checks with the Coast Guard, which revealed the ship had been swept overboard in a storm while being transported from a Danish shipyard to a customer in Greenland back in April of 2019. Rhoda was delighted when she was told she could keep the boat because insurance had already paid out for it. Shouldn't insurance get it? She said apart from a slight split in the boat's side, which she has repaired, it is virtually undamaged. She said, Polka, the Danish company that made the boat, have now said they are going to sponsor me by donating a 700-pound A-frame, the piece of the boat which holds the navigation lights. That's cool.
Yeah.
The company could have been dicks about it, and instead they're like, oh, you know what? We're going to set that up even nicer for you. Well, good for her. Maritime law, she's able to claim it.
Mm.
I'm not disagreeing, Eagle. I'm just thinking from a insurance paid for it. Technically, they should get to claim it. I'm glad she gets to keep it though. Good for her. Well done, lady, for being out there collecting your sheep. I didn't realize there were shepherdesses.
I guess that's just a female shepherd.
How do they have sex with their flock?
What?
Isn't that what those weirdos do who manage the sheep?
I don't know. Go ask Tail Feature.
Izzy United? I think ISY United. Izzy United. I'm going with that. This comes from Izzy United, and it is coronavirus may be a blood vessel disease, which explains everything. Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
Many of the infection's bizarre symptoms have one thing in common. All right. In April, blood clots emerged as one of the many mysterious symptoms attributed to COVID-19, a disease that had initially been thought to largely affect the lungs in the form of pneumonia. Quickly after came reports of young people dying due to corona-related strokes. Next, it was COVID toes, painful red or purple digits. I hadn't heard that one. I'd heard of the blood clots and the stroke thing. What do all these have in common? An impairment in blood circulation. Add in the fact that 40% of deaths from COVID are related to cardiovascular complications, and the disease starts to look like a vascular infection instead of a purely respiratory one. Months into the pandemic, there is now a growing body of evidence to support the theory that the novel coronavirus has infected blood vessels, which could explain not only the high prevalence of blood clots, strokes, and heart attacks, but also provide an answer for the diverse set of head-to-toe symptoms that have emerged. Sounds like an episode of Dr. House.
Wouldn't that be? But wouldn't that be like? And I don't know. I'm not a doctor or a geneticist or anything, but wouldn't that be obvious that it was built to do that because it's a coronavirus? Wouldn't they be able to determine what it was attacking and attaching to? Because I kept hearing about how the hook thing was going toward the lungs, and that's what caused all the coughing and respiration issues and everything.
Well, not if that's what they're looking, because COVID viruses tend to attack the lungs. I mean, your SARS, your MERS, that kind of thing. So if that's where they just start looking and it's like, well, this is where it should be. That's why we need a Dr. House. Because he would have been like, I know what it is. I don't know if this is true or if this will turn out to be true, guys. We're not trying to spread any misinformation, YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll throw the article in here if you guys want to read it. But that's an interesting theory. Interesting theory. And it does fit a lot of the symptoms, man. It does not make a lot of sense for pneumonia to cause blood clots in people who didn't even get pneumonia. All right. I shouldn't laugh at that, but some of the things that they've come out with COVID, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm also glad to see that they're still looking at it as a whole instead of just all of the political shit we have to hear about. To know that there's scientists and doctors out there still fucking looking. Thank you to those of you who are still doing that. I know it's hard to take time out of your TikTok videos, but I appreciate what you're doing. Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, this is one I can't. It's not a story. It's a tweet that was sent out, and I'm going to describe it. It is a white woman holding up a poster board that she has written on, and on the as you're looking at it, on the right-hand side of it, there's a giant eggplant. And on the other side, it says, I only suck black. and then at the bottom, it says, fuck racism.
What?
Honky lady, I hate to tell you, but you're being kind of racist there. I wonder if she like has no gag reflex, guys.
Well, why don't you go find out?
I am way too white for her selection.
Obviously, yeah, that's true.
I am way too married.
Yeah. So single black guys in the audience, you can try to go find this woman. She's down with the black eggplant.
All the single black guys. All the single black guys. Oh.
And from what I can see, I mean, she's not ugly. She's not like gross.
Now that's an endorsement. Yeah, she's not ugly.
Her thighs look a little thick, but not like disgustingly thick. You can see them underneath the poster board.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you can always turn out the lights. By the way, sweetheart, they're all black in the dark. This one comes from Princess Unicorn Nipples sends in this one. Saturn, the alligator believed to have belonged to Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler, dies in Moscow Zoo at the age of 84.
Okay.
So it's a Nazi alligator, you guys.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, that crazy motherfucker owned an alligator?
Sure, why not?
All right. An alligator believed to have belonged to Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler has died in Moscow Zoo at the age of 84, according to reports. Saturn the alligator was one of the only survivors of World War II bombing of the Berlin Zoo in 1943. Oh, okay. So it was at the zoo. Soon after, was moved to Moscow Zoo, where he passed away on Saturday. Yesterday morning, our Mississippi alligator Saturn died of old age. He was about 84 years old, an extremely respectable age, the Moscow Zoo said in a statement. Moscow Zoo had the honor of keeping Saturn alive for 74 years. For us, Saturn was an entire era, and that's without the slightest exaggeration. He saw many of us as children. We hope that we did not disappoint him. It's an alligator, you weirdo. The zoo reported that Saturn knew his keepers, enjoyed being massaged with a brush, and was able to crack steel feeding tongs and concrete with his teeth.
Damn.
The alligator was born in America in 1936 and was then taken to the Berlin Zoo, where it had a habit of escaping. One jailbreak happened during the Battle of Berlin in 1943. When the British reached Berlin in 1945, they gave Saturn to the Russians, and he has lived in the Moscow Zoo ever since. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's a strong jaw. I wonder if that lady from the last thing we read has a jaw that strong.
I would hope not for the person she's trying to pleasure.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know.
Look, I ain't letting no alligator jaw suck.
Yeah.
Not happening. Sorry.
Look, maybe it causes some serious suction. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, it's not about suction.
Anyway, I was going to say something horrible. This one comes from our very own Stargazer Nuts. Jail records show most arrests in Minnesota riots have Minnesota addresses. So this goes to a story that's going to be in Fucketry a little bit later too, but it's important to read this part. I was just going to use my memory to talk about it.
Hold on, you were breaking up there again.
Yeah.
Can you read the headline again?
Sure. The headline is jail records show most arrests in Minneapolis riots have Minnesota addresses.
Okay. All right.
And like I said, this is important. It is coming up in Fucketry, but these are the real numbers, so I don't have to remember them. Good night, baby doll. Love you too. Let's see. The overwhelming majority of people arrested in connection with the Minneapolis unrest have Minnesota addresses, a search of an online Hennepin County jail log shows. Of the 45 people arrested for rioting, unlawful assembly, stolen property, burglary, or robbery on May 29th and May 30th so far, 38 had Minnesota addresses. That's 38 out of 45. 6 had out-of-state addresses, and 1 person didn't have an address information listed. City and state officials have repeatedly said over the past days that most rioters are from out of state. Governor Tim Walz said Saturday morning that as many as 80% of the people were outsiders. The 45 people reviewed by Fox 9 were arrested by Minneapolis police, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, University of Minnesota Police, or Minnesota State Patrol. Speaking Saturday, Minneapolis police spokesman John Elder, however, said that sometimes people arrested will provide false information. He says background checks are showing some people arrested have records from other areas. Meanwhile, St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter is backtracking after saying that 100% of the people arrested for causing disorder in his city were from out of state. 3/4 of the people arrested in St. Paul had Minnesota addresses, according to data provided to Fox News by the police. Yeah, I'm actually very glad that article came up, so I didn't have to go looking for it. Cryptic, thank you. Tim Pool is going full hyperbolic mode right now. Oh, I'm sure he is.
About what in particular?
Well, I'm not sure. I know he was really upset about that CNN reporter getting arrested.
I saw that, yeah.
That was funny. Let's try to get one more in here before we move on to the YouTubes. What do we have here? Drew sent in that Babylon Bee headline as well. Oh no. This one comes from Brenda Johnson. 3 boys let a black widow spider bite them in hopes of becoming Spider-Man.
Oh no.
Did it work?
Come on. Did it work?
What?
The boys were aged 12, 10, and 8. Throughout comic book folklore, we learn that the process of humans turning into superheroes isn't always a pleasant journey. Batman lost his parents, Tony Stark had to get captured and imprisoned, and well, Spider-Man had to get bit by a special spider. What about Uncle Ben?
Uncle Ben didn't turn into a superhero?
No, but Spider-Man didn't turn into Spider-Man until Uncle Ben died.
No, he was Spider-Man before.
He was Peter Parker with spider powers.
Well, okay, but he had the powers, and that was the point.
Look, we got some good rice out of it. It's fine.
Oh.
Now, snapping back to reality, it was reported that 3 young brothers from Bolivia were immediately hospitalized after they intentionally let a black widow spider bite them.
Yeah.
They seem to have taken the story a bit too seriously and thought it would turn them into Spider-Man.
You think?
In a truly bizarre incident, the 3 siblings aged 12, 10, and 8 found the spider while herding goats in Bolivia. Telemundo reports Ministry of Health officials revealed this news at a coronavirus briefing on Saturday. The boys thought such an act would actually give them superhero powers.
Sure.
They allegedly prodded it with a stick and instigated it to bite each of them in turn. Are they okay?
That was my next question. Is like, well, I mean, they were hospitalized. Are they all right?
The mother of the children allegedly found them crying after that, and once she found out what happened, she rushed them to a nearby health center. They were soon transferred to a nearby hospital to receive urgent care before being transferred yet again to the Children's Hospital in La Paz. The boys had fevers, tremors, and muscle pains, according to the report. They were successfully treated and discharged last Wednesday.
Thank goodness.
All right. I'm glad they're okay, but Jesus, fuck.
Yeah.
Bolivian goat herders. Yes, seriously, Data. I did not make that up. That's in the story. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for MSS News. Thanks for all the stories. Remember, if we didn't get to yours, it's because the Russians are stopping us from doing so. Blame them.
According to Donnie.
Yeah, and more than him. Satsu, it's time for the YouTube's time. And what did you do today?
Nothing. As far as work is concerned, I did. Squishy went to the store and got our the Tupperware and stuff that we need for our meal prep. So I'm going to be doing a couple meal prep videos soon. Otherwise, as far as actual work today, nothing. I just hung out with Squeetus most of the morning. most of the day.
All right. Angry Illinoisan, thank you so much. No way I'd ever let a spider bite me. We have some dangerous ones around here. I'd never let a spider. I've let spiders crawl on me, but I wouldn't like intentionally try to get one to bite me.
Yeah.
Even the non-venomous ones was still annoying.
I don't let spiders near me.
I don't mind them. They're not too bad. Now, if I see one of the more dangerous ones, I will kill it, but otherwise I only kill them if Lady Monkey makes me. That's right. If my wife makes me, I'll kill a spider because I'm a manly man. Scribbles, what'd you work on today?
I did a TED Excellence, primarily based on the title of it, in which it said, Reforming the Criminal Justice System Without Changing the Law. And I was intrigued. I was like, I have no idea where this is going to go, because the term reform kind of inherently involves the idea of change, because you're reforming. So I was very curious to know what the pitch was. And there's a lot to it, more so than I'm about to summarize here. So I think it's still worth a listen, if for no other reason to hear my brain melt as I'm trying to decipher this guy. But at the end of the day, his pitch is to hope that prosecutors and judges use their discretion to the lowest possible, I don't know, detriment to people being convicted of crimes, to lessen the amount of criminality and or people in jail.
What?
Like I say, that is the best summary I can give you based on what I heard. Now, I invite anyone who wasn't there, and those of you who were there with me, I feel like we're all like old war buddies now, those of us that take the time to watch these things. Yeah, he was complaining about the overpopulation in prisons in America. He was complaining about the over-criminalization of our laws, society, etc. He called back to 1790 to tell us that at that time, which by the way was like a year after the Constitution was ratified, there were only 17 federal laws. And I was like, so you want to decriminalize our criminal justice system by reducing us back to 1790 jurisprudence? Is that what to this moment, I don't know that that's not what he was suggesting, but he moved on from that little tidbit so quickly that I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Anyway, this guy is a lawyer, a lobbyist of some kind for criminal justice reform and so on and so forth. And yeah, no, it was a mind melter. It really, really was. And you can hear it in my voice at various points, because I just lost my. It was not nearly as bad as Donnie. Of course, I didn't read all of Donnie's article there, but this guy was something else. So not usually my regular fare. He didn't bring up any of the regular sort of criminal justice tropes like restorative justice or school to prison pipeline or anything like that. He was just, and actually, I'm not even sure they used the phrase mass incarceration, which is kind of surprising too, but he may have. But anyway, that's what I did today. Elsewise, I'm still working on the Chris Hoff video, the live stream he did the other day talking about his white identity, which is just bizarre. And I have another TEDx queued up and ready to go. I'll probably end up doing that on Monday. Since I'm working tomorrow, I might take the remainder of Sunday just off from doing stuff after what I have to do tomorrow. So that is what I've been up to.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the guy that we have too many federal laws. Mm-hmm. But going back to, the founding of the country might not be relevant.
Well, it wasn't just that. Federal laws was just part of it, because the specific examples he brought up to complain about overcriminalization were local statutes and ordinances. Mm-hmm. So, and the ones he brought up were like, yeah, no, I hear trivia all the time. It's like, did you know that in Mississippi it's still illegal to take a bath outside on a Sunday? Sure. That kind of stuff. Like, all right, yeah, I could see that being kind of ridiculous. What's that got to do with anything? How often is that enforced, etc.? But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't do anything today. I kind of accidentally took the day off. I was playing a video game and then lost track of time. Like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this when I get up, and had every intention of doing so eventually. But then the little one was here, and I spent all day with her. And as much as I love you guys, she wins. She wins that fight every time.
Pumpkin. Yay, pumpkin.
So yeah, that was my day, which brings us on to my favorite part of the show, Humpetry. And Satsu, you were online for a little bit today. What, anything you wanted to talk about?
Well, aside from the extremely dark white supremacists that I've been seeing totally not destroying stuff, there's a few things that happened today. I put up a couple tweets and a couple messages. One in particular said, "Hey guys, remember COVID-19? That shit was crazy, huh?"
Right.
Because apparently that shit's just over with. And there were several people on my Facebook like, is it done? Like, is it over now? Like, can we go outside? Like, yeah, apparently, go have fun, man. It's over with. Social distancing is no longer necessary. Just knock yourselves out, folks. Because nobody, unless it's to say something bad about Trump, nobody has been COVID-19 anymore. I did see some of the shit that's going on at the White House, and I saw that some people tried to break into the Treasury.
Yep, that was last night, I think, part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, okay. Now, y'all are doing all this stuff right now, and as it stands, like a lot of these places are telling the government or they're telling the law enforcement to kind of stay out of it and don't mess with you guys too much, with the exception of the curfews that they are issuing. They ain't fucking around with those either. But I'm like, if y'all try to break into the White House, it's going to be a lot of bodies in that yard. Like, don't fuck around with this shit. Like, I'm serious. Y'all can take y'all anger elsewhere. Do not, like, this is not the place for this type of shit. Because the Secret Service and the President of the United States, those people that are there to protect him, they're there to protect him.
Yeah.
They're not going to play. Y'all will be gunned down, and it's just going to be bodies in the yard. And I know that's going to make some people happy. We know who those people are, because that'll be a great photo op. Like, haha! But you don't want that. You really don't want that to happen. Let's see. What else did I see today?
You know, as you said, I really don't want that to happen either. When I've issued that warning to people, and I know nobody's reading it, but guys, you don't want to fuck around and find out how far you can push things.
Yeah, you really don't.
You're getting away with a lot of shit right now. You start reining it back just a little bit, because y'all gonna get fucked up. And I don't want to see it happen to people. I don't want to see a whole bunch of dead bodies over this.
Yeah.
Yeah, beyond the ones that are already in existence now.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Yeah, because however far you think you can push it, I promise you, the government can push harder.
Mm-hmm.
The military and everything else is being called out.
Mm-hmm. So I would advise against it. One thing I did see that's not fucketry is there's been a lot of videos coming out of people in groups almost as big as the protests cleaning up in a lot of the places where the protests were happening before, which was a good thing to see. It mostly, from what I've heard, it's a lot of the people that were peaceful protesting before all the shit started who had to leave, for their own safety, came back the next day to help clean up and stuff, which is nice to see, even though they shouldn't have to, because fucking people want to be stupid, but it is what it is. Let me see, what else was going on? I think that might have been, well, somebody actually sent me a wall. There's like 70 businesses, like small business owners, who came out to basically just state, what's going on with their business and how they've responded to COVID and what they're doing to either try to help or if their stuff got destroyed or not. And it was kind of sad reading through these, man.
Mm-hmm.
because unfortunately, a lot of these people are under the impression that their business being destroyed was a necessary sacrifice, and they just want to be a part of the solution. And they're like, if you feel like you need to take your anger out on whatever, and that includes our establishment, then we won't stop you. Which I'm just like, oh, man, this is fucked. This is fucked, man. That's fucked up. Because the sad truth is, a good majority of these businesses that were destroyed weren't destroyed by grieving, people who are just trying to find justice. It was fucking assholes who just would have probably burnt your shit down because it was Tuesday. But they had an excuse now, and you're just like, oh, we just want to help out. And it's like, it's unfortunate, but
yeah, please use my life and my livelihood as your punching bag. Go ahead.
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying, like, necessary evil. It has to happen. What would you expect? They'll be able to get another. I'm like, well, what if it was at your house? What if it was in your neighborhood? What if they just decided, I'm going to fuck up your neighborhood and your house? Then would your response still be the same? And a lot of people's like, yeah, absolutely. It's like, no, it wouldn't. Stop it.
You know what I'm noticing? This is sounding more and more like when someone describes to me a controlled burn to try to control a forest fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we have to do this in order to contain the possible damage from greater, a greater situation? Mm-hmm. Except this is not. That's not how this works. This is people's lives, their safety, their livelihoods, their businesses. This isn't some amorphous natural disaster or something, or somehow people's emotions are now manifesting as some kind of uncontrollable force of nature. This is just criminality and chaos. There's nothing sane about letting it burn itself out.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to really see how this plays out. I'm hoping that it doesn't go any further than it has, just because it could just get horrible. The sad reality, though, is in about a week, it'll be like after the media's bored and the people get tired, it's back to business as usual. It'll be like it never happened. Which sucks because, like, I honestly believe, personally, if this is your way to show that you are fed up with this shit, because a lot of people are saying peaceful protests don't work. They don't really amount to nothing. It's basically just begging. It's a waste of time. Then I'm like, this shit shouldn't end until you get whatever it is you're trying to get. If you are really about this and you said we are fed up and you are truly fed up, then every day for the foreseeable future, you should be fucking shit up until the change happens that needs to happen or that you feel needs to happen. But that's not what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get tired. They're going to get bored. They're going to go home. And then whatever the next thing the media is like you should be upset about, that'll be the new thing. This dude will have died. All this destruction and chaos would have happened, and nobody's going to talk about it again. Like, that's, and it discourages me to even talk about it myself, because I'm like, it doesn't matter. None of this shit matters, at the end of the day. But it is what it is. But that's my 2 cents and fucketry at the same time.
All right. Scribbles?
Honestly, I don't have much. I was working most of the day, then I did TEDx, and then I just kind of hung out. So I guess the general chaos, which we already have been and will be talking about, and then that Donnie thing, which I just tweeted out a few minutes ago. That's about all I got for fucketry. Oh, I did make because Count Dankula put out one of those tweets that doesn't allow you to retweet or allow you to respond to it because he locked it to only those mentioned in the tweet. And he said something to the effect of, for every retweet, I will send out a custom dick pic. And so I I took a picture of Richard Nixon and put on there Count Dicula and tweeted it back to him. That is the amount of my brilliance today. Oh, wait, no. Weibo. I forgot. Weibo tried really hard today to put out a tweet. Didn't go very well. So let me find it here real quick because I should at least be able to quote this. One second. Let me where'd it go? Where'd it go? Weibo, where did you go, Weibo? There. No, that's not it. Sorry, guys. 1 second here. I should. Oh, there. All right. So Weibo put out this tweet. It had a poll on it. Come on, Twitter. Of all the times to slow down, come on. Really? Okay. There we go. She put out a poll that said, in your opinion, who should fit the bill for a child's necessary expenses? And I said, foot the bill, child's with an apostrophe, and necessary. And she said, I see my nemesis hath returned. Time to square up, scribbles. And I put in a little GIF from a movie, a interesting movie if you've never seen it, called Lost Highway, with a creepy guy that says, "We've met before, haven't we?" Yeah. So that was the only sort of real fucketry I suppose I had today. So there you go. That's it. Just Weibo being Weibo, the college graduate.
You rude as hell.
I know. I'm terrible.
Sorry, I'm actually responding to some idiot from my fucketry.
Oh.
So this is the one. This is why we had to talk about this a moment ago. The mayor of Minneapolis tweeted this out earlier today. We are now confronting white supremacists, members of organized crime, out-of-state instigators, and possibly even foreign actors to destroy and destabilize our city and our region.
Did you ever see Mystery Men?
No.
There's this part of the plot is that the super bad guy brings together all the different gangs in the city, and each one of the gangs is you got like the Italian mafia guys, and you got like the gangster rapper guys and everything. So the organized crime, white supremacists, and outside, I'm guessing Russian actors are all teaming up in one big Sinister Six moment to take on Minneapolis.
White supremacists, members of organized crime, out-of-state instigators, and possibly even foreign actors.
Wow, it's everybody's fault but people who live in Minneapolis.
But once again, the narrative is still, we're fed up with this shit. Burn it all down, white supremacists.
Yes. Now, I have no doubt there's some agitators in there that don't care about Floyd. I don't think a lot of the people in the riot section of the protests care about Floyd at all. But some who they're just there because they want to burn shit down, or they do want to agitate and see what happens, that kind of shit. But Mayor Fry here, what happened in Minneapolis is largely your fault. And I'm not talking about with George Floyd. That was a bad cop, and we need to let the justice system work itself out. But you let this get out of control. You let this be that idea of the slow burn, the controlled burn, instead of sending your police in immediately to squash this shit when it started. This is your fault. He's just looking for a scapegoat here. Saoirse, thank you so much. Are more non-blacks upset about what they saw in the video after Target burned, or did it just distract us from what we all think wrong? I don't know if more people are upset about what they saw after Target burned. I'm still upset about what I saw in the video.
Yeah.
But there's this notion out there, and I keep seeing it, and it's kind of a fucketry, but it's kind of hard to share it. But I'm going to put this on the screen, you guys, because it's not fucketry. It's yes. It's yes. That's what I say to this. And it says it's possible to be all these things. You can be here. You can believe George's death was wrong and the cops should be in jail. You can believe that our system is a little bit corrupt or refuses to prosecute police. We know that. You can believe mass protests and civil disruptions are legitimate and warranted. And you can believe burning businesses is immoral and counterproductive. You can believe all this shit.
Yep.
And from where I'm sitting, I don't understand how you couldn't believe all that.
You know what surprises me, honestly, is that any modern mayor, unless you're just living under a rock, hasn't paid any attention at all to what's been going on in Portland for the last couple of years.
Yeah, right.
And how the mayor there and his policies, decisions, behaviors when it comes to law enforcement and quote unquote protesters, how they haven't learned some kind of lesson of this is what you don't do if you want to have a safe or at least more secure city in those circumstances. Because if you needed a textbook example of how not to run a city during a quote unquote protest, don't have to look any further than Portland in the last couple of years. And they're doing the exact same thing now in Minneapolis and in other places. And it just boggles the mind, honestly.
Yeah, I still want to see those police officers imprisoned.
Yeah.
And trial. I want prison. Especially after I learned that they had checked his pulse and still sat on his ass for 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
That makes especially the other 2 sitting on him, the one who checked his pulse, like, I don't have a pulse. Well, we'll just sit here for a couple more minutes. What, you thought with no pulse he was going to get up and run? You thought he was faking no pulse? For real? But you don't have to pick. Either George was a tragedy that needs justice, or burning shit down is okay. You know, you can believe in law and order in general.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, sorry.
Black or white, no gray.
That's kind of part of what pisses me off about what I've seen is all the people going into their camps. I am very supportive of the police. I've stood up for them many times when I think they've been wrongfully accused, and especially, we get the body cam footage that shows, hey, look, that bitch that was on the other side of the car did have a gun. That's why they shot her ass.
Right.
That kind of thing happens, and we defend them here all the time. What I saw in that video, I don't see a defense for. But I also don't believe for any reason you should go through burning down the city over this. I don't believe you should be stealing from people because of your, outrage? There were people looting Louis Vuitton yesterday. This handbag, this expensive handbag, makes me feel better about George dying. No, it doesn't.
I'm going to get back at the police by having a fashionable handbag.
Yeah.
That I didn't pay for.
It's not about the bag. It's about sticking it to the people who are responsible or who are by proxy responsible.
Oh, God. Where's Camel Toe Harris? Because she's been tweeting. She needs to shut the fuck up. She really does.
Oh, real quick. That was one thing I forgot to mention. It took how many days now since this all started? The first time I saw Colin Kaepernick invoked happened today.
Oh, I saw that at the beginning.
Yeah, I hadn't saw it. I thought he would be right up there immediately. But the first time I actually saw it in a news story was somebody brought up Kaepernick, and I was like, wow, that took long enough. But then maybe I wasn't paying attention to every news story.
Well, yeah, I've been seeing tons of this is why he was kneeling. I've been seeing a whole bunch of that. But then again, I saw a Babylon Bee article that said protesters refused to sign Colin Kaepernick.
Oh,
Yeah, they said he showed up to the riots and enthusiastic to participate, but nobody would stand.
That's funny, actually.
Like, dude, that's not.
Chrissy Teigen has offered $100,000 to pay the bail of anybody arrested tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I asked her, she didn't answer me, but I asked her if somebody arrested or somebody burned down her home tonight, would she pay their bail?
Oh.
She didn't answer. I feel slighted, Chrissy. Least you could do is answer me. Kamala Harris said, too often black parents have to sit their teenage children down and tell them they may be stopped, arrested, or even shot because of the color of their skin. Our nation's history of systemic racism and the use of excessive force must be confronted so we can begin to heal. I'm not even necessarily disagreeing with what she says here.
Yeah.
She's the wrong person to be talking. Kamala, seriously, you were going to let a man die because you didn't want your office to be embarrassed when you guys were withholding evidence. The number of young black males in prison in California is largely because of you.
Yeah, but
That doesn't matter now. That's old. That's old news, monkey. We're in the here and now.
Yeah, we're talking about these Black lives,
Yeah.
not them's Black lives.
But to the systemic racism part, Mayor Fry, I don't know if you guys watched his press conference. Did you guys see he actually invoked slavery?
No, I didn't see the press conference, but this is my surprised face.
This motherfucker, this isn't really just about George. It's about 400 years of oppression.
Oh, Lord.
Like, there's an awful lot of white people in that crowd for this to be about 400 years of oppression. And like I said, there's a part of me that's like, this is beautiful, black and white working together. Too bad we can't do that for good things. It's only to trash cities, apparently. But
He said that shit, and Kanye was in the corner like, excuse me.
okay, even if I gave it to you that it was the black folks doing it, that was for them. What about all them fucking white people running around? Were they oppressed for 400 years too?
Well, maybe they're Irish.
Ah, for fuck's.
Oh, the Irish didn't have to deal with slavery, remember?
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe they were Christians.
And my last one, where did you go, Mags? Did I respond directly to her? I can't remember if I did. I got to find this one because I have to talk about this. Oh shit! I responded instead of retweeting. Damn it! I hate that. That means I got to go through my replies, which is a lot harder to do because I reply a lot more than I retweet. There it is. She wrote this today. Trump has sown hatred of the press for years. Now journalists are under assault from police and protesters alike. And she has the picture from CNN.
Those are democratic cities.
Well, here's the thing. I brought this up yesterday. I'm going to keep bringing this up every time I see this stupid shit. Nobody gives a fuck when the news outlet is Fox News. Whether you believe Fox News is biased or not, whether you believe their news is good or not, I can give you ample proof that whatever news you're watching that's a mainstream source, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, the Washington Post, the New York Times, any of this shit, where they are full of shit and outright lie. Seemingly for political purposes. But it's only once Trump does this stuff. It's only once Trump does something that suddenly it's, look, Trump made them act this way. It's funny because just, I looked this up back on March 7th of 2019. Margaret Sullivan, the same woman who wrote that story, wrote this. It's time, high time, to take Fox News's destructive role in America seriously.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah, go ahead. But it's just Trump who goes after journalists, guys. Barack Obama was spying on him. Barack Obama, oh God, he was horrible with the press, but everybody ignored it. And literally for decades, since Fox News came to be, liberal politicians have been out there talking about how horrible it is, how it's this destructive force in America, as Maggie said there. It is amazing that the only time they care about the press being talked about like the shitbags that they are is when, you know, people start paying attention that they're shitheads. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's when Donald Trump says it. That's when it happens. When Donald Trump says it. You know what, Mags, listen to me, sweetheart. If you guys would stop proving you're the fake news that he says you are, maybe people wouldn't believe it.
yeah, it's not that hard. Just tell the truth. Like you think it'd be that simple, and it's so weird. Like I could never understand being like living in this world or in this country and being a person in a position that Trump is when it comes to the way the media represents everything he says. It's insane. I wouldn't feel safe saying anything ever, because it's just like Trump could be like, I sneezed one time in the White House, and they'll be like, Trump issues a threat to people in his wing of the White House, saying that he's going to give them COVID purposely or some shit like that. And I'm like that's, and they tell it like that's literally what he said. Like we don't care that the evidence says completely otherwise. Like this is basically what he just said. Just like, and people like, yeah, that's right.
Like, or he says that and they go like, did you know in 1967, George Wallace, the racist governor of Alabama, once sneezed?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Hitler was known to sneeze too, guys.
Let's talk about the racist history of sneezing.
Yes.
Now that sounds like the title of an old Fusion or Splinter video, honestly.
I want to make this clear. I don't watch Fox News. The only time I read Fox News is if somebody links a story to me. I don't even go over there. But it is amazing to me how it's okay to completely bash them, to have major members of Congress, the former president of the United States, all kinds of politicians talk all kinds of shit about a press outlet, and it's fine. But Donald Trump calls the press fake news, and they're causing people to hate CNN. That's basically what Mags was upset about here. Sorry, I called her Margaret. Was upset about here is because the protesters went after CNN. Did you guys watch the actual video of this stuff? I watched several.
What, you mean at the CNN headquarters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love you hear people going, fuck CNN. You think that's because of Trump? Okay. So all of these people that you were telling me are being downtrodden by the white supremacists that Trump put into place and made white supremacy okay. Because remember, nothing existed before Trump, right, Satsu?
Mm-hmm.
So he made all this white supremacy happen that is helping to keep the black man down. But they listen to Trump when he says, fuck CNN.
Yes.
I need some help. It seems like there's some conflicting narratives going on with everything we're seeing.
Well, it can't be that CNN is a questionable news source. Let me back up. I'm not saying it's justified to go burn down their headquarters or anything.
No.
But it's not to say that CNN as an entity couldn't have garnered its own animosity over time separate from Trump. No. It must be Trump's agents doing this because it couldn't possibly be the perfection that is CNN that might be spurring people on, or the media in general who act like such idiots all the time. No. It's Trump. It's Trump's fault. He influenced these people. These are agents. These are planted to do this. Trump's taking advantage of the chaos to lash out at his enemies under cover of riot.
Thank you, Cryptic, who says, although Wallace was a Democrat, it's still Republican than Trump's fault. Indeed. Especially Trump, man. They've actually backed off Republicans a lot just to bash Trump. It's weird. But guys, it is your time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into chat now, and we will do our very best to get to them. I did hear one time Trump kneeled, so maybe that's what happened with George.
No.
I'm just... Mashishu asks, did you know that you should get and listen to Flora and Fauna by Pastel? She released her very first album yesterday. I don't know who that is.
No.
But there you go, Pastel, some free advertising for you.
Tweet a link. Music video.
Check Your Logic asks, have you heard the argument that you can't be against the looting because America has stolen land? Yes, I did. I saw that.
Yep. We live in a country that's founded on stealing things from people, and great. I look forward to you using that argument in court.
Well, here's the problem with that argument. The implication is that we are comfortably living on this land, which makes us complacent. But you are too. You are here also, comfortably living on stolen land.
And that means if you're okay with the looting, you should be okay with the stolen land. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Snubber, thank you. Trump tweeted that the National Guard has been sent, and he casted shade on the Democratic mayor, and that's in quotes, the Democrat mayor part. Did he just do this?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Me neither, but yeah, I hadn't seen that one yet. Where are we on the questions here? Oh, lords, would y'all eat a camel hump? No. Camel hump steak topped with pickled onions, a side of fresh yeast rolls with sweet cinnamon butter, and a single serving can of juicy juice. I'm not eating camel.
Yeah, camel hump. No.
The only camel I'll eat is a toe. Should we give the rioters a Pepsi? Did you guys see that meme going around?
Yeah, it's like where's Kylie? Was it Kylie Jenner? Where's Kylie Jenner when we need her?
Where's she when we need her? Yeah. Ranting Monkey, worst news station in the USA? I say it's CNN. Oh, I'm sure there's worse outlets, but if you're talking about the majors right now, definitely CNN because they are so agenda driven. Have you ever heard the story of Robert the Haunted Doll? No. And that's not something I would read. Are you guys freaked out by dolls?
Not reflexively. I mean, I could be in a movie or something, but just like in real life, if I just come across somebody's got a room full of dolls, I guess it depends on how they're arranged, but not as a rule, no.
They can be creepy depending on what kind of dolls you're talking about.
Circumstances are required, but yeah.
No, I don't like them at all. They just look evil.
Okay.
If your child came out looking like that, you would beat it to death. You'd be like, there's something wrong with it.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, all right. I know what you're saying. It's true.
Dangerous Spaces at CNN. Are we out of touch? No, it's the scum and we're wrong. Yeah. CNN. It is really sad because that is CNN's problem. They are out to prove Donald Trump wrong instead of being out to tell the story.
Right. Yeah. How can we angle this to put Trump in the worst light, not what's going on, and let's try to be objective about it, at least as much as possible. And it's just so blatantly obvious. It's like, and we said this many times. Hey, if you wanna like slight Trump for something, hey, just slight him for what he does. You don't have to make shit up. You don't have to try to draw a line from something that happened 50 years ago to a comment he made today out of context. It really isn't that difficult. You don't have to do that much work.
Right.
And all you do in the process is make him look like a victim and you look like a partisan propaganda machine. And that's it. That's all you're doing.
And destroying your credibility in the process.
They have any left at this point.
The numbers for people's trust in the press is just sadly low, ridiculously low. Would the protest stop if it came out that George Floyd voted for Trump? No. The protests aren't going to stop until they get bored or a hammer comes down.
They definitely wouldn't stop, but I guarantee it. And I hate to say this, but I promise you, there are some people who are probably the most adamant, like passionate people about this who are going to be like, oh, well, fuck him. He deserved to die.
Yep. Oh, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
He helped make this country what it is right now, right?
Yeah, he was the architect of his own destruction.
Mm-hmm. Check It Logic asks, are SJWs racist for thinking of black people when Trump called them thugs? Yes, but it's not really their fault because media taught us that. When did we hear the whole thugs thing? That was back during BLM, right? The riots when it became thug meant black person.
Oh, well, I don't know. Was it?
Yeah. The media started throwing that out. So the ones who hear it today and hear it from Trump, that's what they were taught a couple of years ago. So, I mean, again, blame your media for that. The media is the one that came out and went, he said thug, he means Negroes. Like, wait, you think Negroes are thugs?
But here's the part that gets me again, because we have this winding narrative. And once again, like I said, everything that these people believe in, it ends up biting them in the ass. So Trump was referring to the rioters and the people who were looting. He called them thugs. The people that were rioting and looting were white supremacists. Remember, it wasn't the black people. It was
Russians.
Exclusively white supremacists, which means that if Trump was talking about thugs because they were looting and rioting, he was talking specifically about white supremacists. But no, he couldn't have been because he's racist. So he was talking about black people. But the black people weren't rioting or looting. So I'm just like, what? How do we navigate this?
I just see here, Snub said that was 23 minutes ago that Trump tweeted out that the National Guard has been sent.
Okay.
All right. How much do dumplings weigh? 1 ton.
Oh.
Yeah. Data says, Monk alert. I just got an alert on my cell phone. Curfew in effect for today and tomorrow, sundown to sunrise, Miami, at Dade County.
Yep, lots of places are having curfews in effect at 5 p.m., 9 p.m., depending on where you're at.
Cryptic, thank you. Like when Obama called people thugs? No, when Obama said it, he definitely didn't mean black people. Would Trump kneeling in an NFL game be racist? Probably.
If he's seen as mocking the plight of Colin Kaepernick.
Pastel is a singer, voice actress, and game player with her own YouTube channel. I followed her for a couple of years. Oh, okay, Mash.
Wow, that was interesting.
What's that? Did you just
The reporter call back?
No, the moment you guys said that extreme alert, the mayor of Cleveland has issued a curfew for downtown area. I just got an extreme alert to my phone as soon as you guys said that.
Like the Amber Alert system or something to make sure that nobody missed it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. They're issuing these curfew alerts. They're not going to stop the rioting, though. They've already shown that rioting is illegal. Burning things down is illegal. Looting stores is illegal. You think telling them they can't go outside is going to do something?
No, but it might discourage people from getting caught in the crossfire of whatever's going on.
Smart people are already staying inside for that.
Well, sure, but some people need a push, remember?
Indeed. Oh, Lords, I would like Trump to say, if you burn down your city, taxes go up. Then a dozen articles come out on why raising taxes are bad. Oh, Mr. Scott. Don't forget, man, raising taxes, that they'll just go, oh, the rich have to pay that.
Right.
The rioters are burning down buildings, flipping cars, and looting, but the curfew that are being put in place totally follow. Oh, so yeah, you Dangerous said this a few minutes ago, I'm guessing, because of where I'm at in the conversation. I wasn't stealing that. I hadn't got to you yet, but we're in sync, Data. Dangerous. I think you should be worried if you and I are in sync. BG says, you don't like dolls, so did your sex doll try to strangle you one time? I would never have sex with a... Look, I've said this before. Fleshlights, these living doll things. I'm not sticking my dick in plastic, not just for the fact that it's plastic and I can't imagine it's all that fun and feels very good, but I'm not sure how you clean it. And I don't think there's a way to get dried semen all the way out. I'm just throwing that out there. Oh, Lord's chocolate fountain, cheese fondue, or nacho cheese fountain? Yes. My answer to that is yes. How much would someone have to pay you to keep a haunted doll in your house at the foot of your bed for a month? Fuck.
Wow, that's specific.
How haunted is this doll? Is it Chucky haunted or just its eyes move?
Well, Chucky wasn't haunted. He was possessed. There's a difference.
I feel it's close enough. A lot. Throw me a dollar amount and let me see the doll and we'll talk. Eat a camel toe, did not know monkey ate humans. Well, it's more of a slurp. Lords of Night, if you had to, would you rather kiss Shives on the lips, have Riley Dennis oil his ass and give you a lap dance, or suck Joe Biden's bright big toe? You have problems, sir.
I haven't even thought about Steve Shives. I don't know, like 2 years or something. That just saying the name, I was like, oh my god, he was a person that exists, doesn't he?
Every time those names get like Riley Dennis and all that, like those names, I'm just like, man, like they still exist, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't thought about them in any way, shape, or sort of like what. It doesn't happen that often. What was the man-centric cult thing that was going after stuff for a while there?
MGTOW?
Big Tao. That's what it was. I haven't thought about that so long. I completely forgot what the name was.
Oh, we still talk about it quite often on Lord's.
Oh, do you? Okay, because it never even comes up in my radar anymore.
Which scares you more, regular dolls or sex dolls? Any dolls that look real. It doesn't matter. I have granddaughters, so we have lots of dolls in this house, but thankfully none of them look real. It's especially the ones with like the porcelain face things. We don't have any of those because no. But like I play with baby dolls all the time, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Only when the children are here. I've been tempted to play with their Legos when they're not here, but I've stopped. But I don't play with the dolls if they're not here. What do you think the mainstream media is covering up with all these divide and conquer protests? I don't think they're really trying to cover anything. I think they're enjoying the mayhem. I think they think it's going to bring changes they want to see.
Well, the best theory I've heard is that most or all of this is being instigated to take attention away from the latest revelations about Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Netflix documentary came out, which has at least one corroborative witness from the island who says he saw Bill Clinton there hanging out with Epstein and everything. And this person isn't, as far as I understand it, at least, things can change. This person isn't plugged in. He doesn't have like a book deal or anything. There's no advantage for him to be saying this now. It's a thing that happened.
I think the majority of our press is leftist little commie shitbags, and they're cheering right along, thinking that this is the revolution coming.
Yeah.
Plus, it also helps them. They love money too, and the more clicks they get, the more money they make, and there you go.
Yeah. You can frame it as this is what happens in a Trump country.
Yeah.
This is MAGA country, everybody. You like it now? You glad you voted for it? Don't do it again.
What specifics then Scribe makes Trump the racist, sexist, etc. that CNN and them keep trying to make him out to be? Huh?
What?
I'm not sure I understand your question there, Marbos. Scribbles, did you understand that?
Are you talking about like you don't have to make up stuff? You can just report on what he does and says?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, you could take the things he does and says and not take them out of context and still interpret it depending on the circumstances, however you want. That's what analysis is for. But like taking something he said, looting leads to shooting, and then say, oh, well, that was meant to be a threat. That was meant to be an order. Like, no, you just made that up. You could say that what he said was inappropriate, callous, unhelpful, etc. during this particular situation, not leadership quality. Sure, that's all legit, but to make up shit that isn't actually true, that's different.
Satsu, you're being told to check your Streamlabs. Scribbles, when you say that, because I do agree, and I've said that before, that you don't stop making us defend Trump. How many times have we said that? Yeah. Because they'll take something you said and either grossly take it out of context or actually omit parts of it.
Right.
Personally, I don't know that there's something that he said sexist or racist that they could go, okay, we'll just show him being sexist or racist. But there's a lot of stuff that could show maybe he's not presidential.
Well, I mean, or at the very least, you could say, here's what President Trump said, and just stop and allow the people watching to make up their own minds. Do they think that he was being a race baiter? Do they think he was being sexist, whatever else? Instead of having to inform us, well, obviously this is blah, 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 blah. But we can't just report things these days. We also have to give commentary along with it that is editorial commentary mixed in with actual news instead of divvying up these segments. So, yeah, anyway.
Thank you, Pincalo. If you ever seen the movie Dead Silence, Blind Press's little brother came running up the stairs with a prop dummy shortly after the movie shoot ended. That thing is creepy as fuck in real life.
Dead Silence.
Yeah, that was that puppet movie.
I would assume so, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Did y'all hear about the whale in the river in Montreal? Ask all you need. No, I hadn't.
No. A whale in a river.
That's weird.
Are there freshwater whales out there? I mean, I guess it could have been a saltwater river. No, I don't
Well,
know.
the fresh and salt really shouldn't matter. I mean, they just have to stay wet. They don't breathe it.
I thought there was okay. Well, maybe I don't know. I'm not a marine biologist, so I don't know.
Mug Mug asked Scribbles if the video I sent him had enough moon content that he liked. Data.
I don't know that I've seen the video yet. Sorry, Data.
As a child, I had nightmares after watching a movie of a ventriloquist doll coming to life. Scared the crap out of me. Those things are fucking freaky. If you're talking about the old time, like Howdy Doody looking ones,
Oh yeah, there's the Anthony Hopkins movie from way back when. I think it's just called Magic. Nope. That's fucking creepy.
I can deal with Peanut and all of Jeff Dunham's puppets. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
All of the ones that they tried to kind of make look more real, like the Howdy Doody-ish ones. No. Where are we at here? No shit. The news is less trusted than Congress, and Americans hate Congress. They only like their representative. That is true. Man walks into a bar and looks at his date. She slapped him silly. What should this man do? I don't know. Speaking. Oh my God! Did you guys see the video of that woman who hit the cop?
No, I don't think so.
So it looks like it's from last night, and it's this car's in the middle of an intersection, and you see this woman's head, and there's cops off to the left side of the screen, and you see a cop come from behind her car, and they're obviously trying to arrest her. Well, she punches one of the cops.
Oh shit!
And one of the other cops comes up to try to grab her, and she punches the first cop again.
Jesus.
The cop that tried to grab her punches her in the face and knocks her out.
Damn.
This was sent out with a tweet.
Yeah, okay.
I'll try to find it, but it was tweeted out with, did she deserve this?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh, the one video I saw of a pedestrian like actually hitting a cop is he walked up to the cop and put his phone like in his face to the point to where it was almost touching him. So the cop grabbed his phone and threw it, and he punched the fuck out of this cop and knocked his ass out and ran. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'll try to find that video, but I don't have time at the moment. So if anybody else has it, please let me know and send it to me so I can. I laughed my ass off. I know. I shouldn't laugh at somebody getting their fucking clock cleaned, but that was funny as shit. She hit him twice. I'm sorry. She deserved it. There's also, did you guys see the one? I think I did retweet this one. It says my favorite video from the riots, and it's this kid trying to run out of a store that he's helped just loot. And instead of running through the open window, he runs into a window. And just bounces right the fuck off. It's funny. I thought thug meant security therapist aide. My title at work. Does that make you a thug? Have you ever had to bite off your own fingertip to escape a French poodle Doberman mix? No.
The answer is no.
Have you?
Yeah.
Should I feel guilty about jerking off to porn stars who are supporting the riots? That's between you and your God, man.
Yeah. Do their politics really come up in the course of fantasy? I mean, I suppose everybody's got their own thing.
She was just live camming and was like, you know what? I really support the.
She's rubbing herself. She's like, oh, Black Lives Matter. Oh, no.
I only suck black eggplant. Just heard that a cop shot and killed someone here in my local community. I expect to see open warfare starting tomorrow. It's time to clean and loan by guns. Jesus. Stay safe, man.
Yeah. There's already a story of like a security officer, somebody being shot and killed in the course of all this. And I don't know what the current situation is, but at last I heard there's at least 3 people aside from George Floyd who have died as a result of the protests. I don't know if that number has gone up or it's been revised.
Tyler says Grand Rapids has had fires started as well. Can't say I'm surprised. Yeah, me neither. I mean, any city with a big enough population for riots to happen, I'm not worried in my town, but if you're in a city, I mean, what is Grand Rapids? 200,000 people, 100,000, 150? I forget.
Dude, these white supremacists are mobile.
Oh boy,
fast. Holy
well,
fuck.
they use their hoods as parachutes, you see, so they can go anywhere.
They just fucking drop in, set some shit on fire, and fuck off.
That's right.
Oh Lords, what are your thoughts on the war on French cheeses?
I think they should give up.
I didn't know there was a war on French cheeses. People are talking about how bad it's going to be when Biden wins in November, that Trump cultists will do more damage than this riot. My question is, what will be left to destroy? That's a good question.
Well, I know there's going to be, like I said, there people are already trying to sow the seeds or whatever. And what's probably going to happen is there are going to be people, maybe protesting or standing around or whatever. And most likely they're going to be armed, but they aren't going to do anything. There's going to be no violence, no incidents, no issues. They're just going to be upset. They're going to show up. They're going to leave. And they're going to act like that was the worst thing, the biggest act of white supremacist terrorism to ever grace the earth. And it's going to be amazing. I'm calling it right now.
Do you think the Obama administration caused some of this frustration? I don't think the riots had fuck all to do with frustration either. With the protests, sure. And this is shit that's been going on for a while in our country that is needed addressed with the as again, I do support the police, but there's a lot of times these guys who are guilty on video doing shit they're not supposed to get off.
Yeah.
It's been ongoing for a while. As for the people who are burning shit down and stuff, that's not out of frustration. That's out of, I can set this on fire, watch. People are stealing. It's like, oh, free shit. They're not stealing Louis Vuitton bags because they're just so frustrated at the system. Fuck off. Not you, them. Have any of you tried Georgia Red's hot sausages? No.
Not that I know of, no.
Have I?
They're fucking thunder.
Are those like super fat red sauce, like the sausages in the red casings or whatever? I think I've had those before.
I've never tried it.
Do they make you fart?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
So if Lady Monkey put a Victorian era doll at the foot of your bed while you sleep, that would scare you when you wake up? It's not like I would jump up and scream. I would go upstairs and ask her what the hell was wrong with her. I probably had nightmares about it.
She said, I don't know, you married me.
Beluga are in the St. Lawrence Seaway / river.
Beluga whales, okay.
What do women? Oh, sorry.
All right, I just said beluga.
It's a fun word to say.
It is.
Damn it, it just jumped. How much time we got? Okay, I'm just going to stay near the bottom here, guys. Try to get a few more of these in. Was this a large black lady in black cop's monk? Because I think I found it. The one who knocked her out was black. The one she was hitting was white, and she looked like a light-skinned black woman. Yeah. If look, we're going by my memory. I just remembered the cop she punched was white, and the one that knocked her out was black. Like, damn. Shroom said he just tagged me in the video. I'm not going to show it on the air, guys, because that's violence and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one, Shroom. I'll throw it in the chat. Fuck, man, he knocks her the fuck out. Don't punch a cop. What the fuck is wrong with you? Damn it, just jumped again. But, oh, well, there it is, guys, so you can see it. Is all houses matter a fake or a false analogy? Yes.
Well, I believe it's Doctor House.
Dom, we addressed your question. We're not answering that weird shit. You need help, sir. Check your protein. Here in Chicago tonight is like every other night. I don't notice any difference.
Oh man.
It sounds like a joke, doesn't it?
All right, but yeah.
And that's it, guys. That's the end of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You're so very generous. Gentlemen, either of you got anything going on?
I don't plan on doing a TEDx tomorrow, but you never know. Maybe work won't turn out to be as bad. It's kind of a gamble at this point, so we'll see. But otherwise, not for sure.
Satsu, anything planned?
I don't know. I might hit you up for a stream tomorrow or something like that. If I don't end up doing something else, I'll let you know.
I have no plans. I'll likely do something tomorrow because I don't understand having full days off of streaming. It's against my religion. So just keep an eye out on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. Links are below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, we will be back Monday on Satsu 2 Senses channel at 9 p.m. Eastern time for more Lords of the Night. Hope to see you there. Satsu, Scribe, a pleasure as always, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, see you next time.
Wait,
Say bye, guys.
Lives don't make it sad.
yeah, their lives don't make you sad.
Have you guys not been paying attention? I've been singing it at the end of the show.
I've been paying attention to everything tonight. Like you screwed up the opening and then you screwed up the ending. So it's like a bookend of screw up.
I have been singing it for like the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
I've been listening, Monkey. I just don't care.
You just asked too. How dare you? Guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye.